Look at this. I know it's incredibly dull, but this is the A1M at 2 o'clock on a Monday morning. If only it was always like this. Isn't it? Absolutely terrific. Anyway, I'm on my way to Edinburgh. So I've got another 4 hours, I think. Probably another 4 hours driving. Should get me there around 6, half 6. Oh, it's all gone dicky dark now. So I'll see you when I get there. Unless anything interesting happens, which, as we know, anything interesting on a motorway or a long drive usually spells disaster. Hello and welcome back to Tip Time with Joint Tech Cabling. Right, this is the problem we've got. I want to show you how to get over that problem. Right, cable's going into trunking. Now what's happening, the cable's not going all the way in, right? Now don't even worry, I haven't measured it short because it's not properly dressed in yet, because I'm doing this end first, then I'm going to dress the cable away. So, as you can see, the cable's not coming through, and the reason the cable's not coming through is because of the way it comes out at an angle. So there, look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lock nut, I'm going to get it through just ever so slightly, get the lock nut on, and then I've already scored the cable there. I'm going to run the knife down, strip the PVC off, and I'm going to bend those, each individual core, I'm going to bend at 90 degrees across there, and then I can push the whole cable back, and what will happen then is this will straighten up. So rather than struggle trying to bend 4 cores at once, what will happen is you'll distort the trunking. There's every chance you could damage the cable somehow. So this is what I always do. Score it there, strip it down, bend them each individually so you've got control of what you're bending and the radius that you're bending the cable at. And then you'll be able to push it into the trunking, which will then straighten this part of the cable up, and you'll easily get the lock nut on. I'll show you. Right, cable's been stripped, cable's been bent. Right, you haven't exceeded the bend radius, still well within its bounds. And then what we do, push the cable in, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to secure it there, because if you can see, I can do it with one hand, I might not be able to. There we go. Flush. We've got a little, oh, I can't tighten that with fingers though. But anyway, so what that did is it's pulled the cable at the top, straightened it up like this because it was at an angle, because the rest of the cable was at the angle over the lip of the trunking. I've bent that, how it's going to end up, lift it in there, cable straightens up, and you can see. So there's another tip, just to save you from struggling, because again, you might not know. I can guarantee there's people on here who go, I can bend a 4-core 50 with my bare hands in that space, and good for you. Brilliant, good for you. And there'll be people who will say, if you don't know how to do this, you, yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it, because not everyone knows everything, right? So these videos are made to help people. And if you want to come on and go, you did it, just forget about it. Don't bother commenting. You should know that. If you don't know that, I'd sack you, I'd throw you off site. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Everybody's got to learn, everybody's got to start somewhere. So bear that in mind before you get on that. Anyway, see you in a bit. Little thumbs up. So that was my walk to work from where I parked the car. Yeah, it's I don't even know what the place is called. Muirhead, I think. I've seen signs that say Pennywell as well. It's I'm glad I live where I live, put it that way. Anyway, I was here yesterday. I got bits and bobs done yesterday, but there's been a bit of a hiccup with the job. So the trunkins that were installed underneath all the DBs aren't big enough. You're getting 50 mils and 70 mils in, and the trunkins are like that deep. So you wouldn't be able to get the cable in and turned because it would just spread the trunkin wide and you wouldn't get the lid on them. So they've had to change them or make them bigger. So we'll have to see how that goes. I've got little bits to do today, and then I have got another job to go to, which is in Dunfermline. So I'm in Edinburgh at the minute. I can go over to Dunfermline, which is about half an hour away or something. So it might not work out too bad. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. I've got some cables to put into that switch and that switch. It's those two there, that one and that one. So I'll try and get those in and then see what I'm moving on to next. So what this is I'm working on is called a community hub. So you have like a doctor's surgery. Oh, look at that. That's some tash there, isn't it? So yeah, you've got like a doctor's surgery, there's a nursery, there'll be a library, just different things in the community, so people can get access to them, so they're not having to travel a massive distance to go to, I don't know, like the city centre or somewhere like that. So it's a good thing. I've worked on a few of them. I think they're obviously very, very important to the people that live around here. There's not a great deal to them. You've got sort of like offices and areas that are 2 secs. So yeah, offices and different areas, they need power and lighting basically. So you'll run on the ground floor, there's 50 mils ran out from the switch room where we are, and on the upper floor they've made them 70 mils. Not that they need to be, it's a little bit of overkill, but I don't know if I get paid. I get more for a 70 mil than I do for a 50 mil. And yeah, that's basically it. Then there was an existing community hub here, but they've just extended it. So there's two 120s. Oh no, they're over there, so you can't see them. There's two 120s basically that links that over to here. So I did those yesterday along with a couple of other cables. And that really is about it. What I'm going to do, hopefully sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, is show you some of the DBs, because they've the trunking situation was, it just wasn't. There was no way you had, I mean, there we go. So you had 100 mil trunking, which is that, and you had 4-core 50s to sort of try and get into the trunking and bend them round. And I've said it's just not. And then 70s as well, 4-core 70s. You'd have distorted the trunking, chance you'd have damaged the cable. So there's no way that we could have no way that I could have done that. So I'm going to crimp this, tape it up, and then neutral, get the neutral in, and then there's one more cable to do, and then I've got the other end of those 120s to do. Oh, and I think I'm going to show you something. Right, watch. So I got, hey, got myself some stickers. I've got one on my hat. That's not part of my logo, the big pylon, but it covered their logo. And then I stuck one on there. So yeah, I bought myself some stickers. So I'm going to stick them on things, and I don't know if anyone wants one. You might want one to go with the t-shirt. I've got the t-shirt on, but I've got another 2 layers on under this, so I'm not taking them off to show you, because it's a bit chilly. But yeah, so if anyone wants one, I don't know how we'll get about that, but I can get one sent to you. And that's about it. The day today hasn't been vastly productive, but what do you do? Can't make $1 million every day, can we? We're not all Jeff Bezos. Right, I'm going to get on with this. See you in a bit. There's a little bit of urban jungle, I'd expect that's what it's called. Right, it's Wednesday morning. Sorry, things are a little bit jumpy and sporadic, but what can I do? So I'm going to show you something here. We had to change this because the cable was coming off the end of the tray and down there, so there's obviously nowhere for it to go. So what we had to do is we pulled it over the top of the trunking, and the lads have put a little stabbing up with an end cap on. So what I'm going to do is take that off, take the front off, drill the end cap, remove the end cap, put it onto the cable, and then just push the cable back, because obviously there's nowhere for it to go, because there's 2.5 meters. So that comes all the way through the trunk and then up and in to the switch there. So there was no other way to do it. Then I'll pull the earth. The earth's going to go in the end as well, but the earth isn't long enough to go down the trunking, back up through the board and up, so the earth's just going to come through there, bosh, and in there. So I'll shorten the earth a little bit, but more or less all of these have changed because surrounding the board was 100mm trunking, and I couldn't get the cable in to the trunking and bend it round because it just kept distorting the trunking and bending it all out of proportion. So we had to put extension pieces in them, or pieces like this. Tell you something as well, see that tread there? It's had my pants down more times than I care to admit to. So I go like that, go to step up and go, or when I'm coming down, I come off the last step and it's not where I'm expecting to hit the floor. Yeah, that isn't a good design. It makes me look a bit silly. I'm glad most of the time no one's watching, but one time somebody will be. The gland's on. So we've got gland, obviously the banjo, then we've got the lock nut. So that's still loose. So what you do is lift it into position, and then that you're allowed to, you can maneuver it into position so the bolts can attach, and then tighten the lock nut from the inside, which is a bit of a squeeze because it is only 100mm, but I've got the little Stanley Fat Max tiny grips. There they are. So they usually fit in most places. So see if I can show you how much of a struggle it is getting it in. I don't know what sort of angle that is. Hopefully it can be, you can see it. So I need, where's my Phillips driver? Oh, there it is. Lovely. Right, I'm going to have a little game on myself. I shouldn't really, because this is quite critical. But I'm going to drill from underneath and see how close I can get. Oh. To that dot. Oh, it's miles away. I'll try and drill at an angle back over. Oh well, I'll have to make it work. I thought I'd got closer than that. Right then, if you're ever in the north of Edinburgh, right, I don't know what the area is called. What does it say? Oh, well, Groathill convenience store is right next to it. Go and get yourself one of these. I got one last week. You would not be disappointed. I can't wait to eat this. Right, let's have a look. Can we zoom in? There we go. Kesban Shawarma House. Oh my giddy aunt. It was absolutely delicious. So if you're ever up this way, or you live round here, get yourself there. I'm going to go and fill it in now, back at the hotel. Incredible. Right, that's me finished, obviously, for tonight. I've got some bits and bobs to do tomorrow, and then off I set on the road. So, nose to the grindstone in the morning. See you then. So here we go. This is the view from the window of the hotel, which I think is quite nice. That's the Firth of Forth, for the Forth, and it'll be quite a while until I actually attend another hotel when I'm working away. So I suppose I should make the most of it. But anyway, I've not long woken up. So I'm going to it's Thursday, going to get my gear together, get to the car, make my way to work, hopefully throw some cables around, and then start the long 6-hour journey home. Right, we're in a cold, dark, comms room. Get a bit of better lighting. Not that it makes any difference, of course, but anyway, look at this for overkill. This is pretty decent, this. So, got 125 amp mains, 4-core 50mm, and a 25mm CPC. And in this board is a 16mm radial for 2 commando sockets and a lighting circuit. All of that for 2 circuits. I wish I had that sort of money to waste. Unbelievable, isn't it? Planning. So this is the next job. 2 4-core 120s come out of the ground, up through that core hole. There's the 2 glands, so they've got to go in there. The panel's directly above, they go straight into the panel, and I need about a metre, well, about a metre to terminate them. So that's going to be hilarious. So I'll let you know how I get on. Right, the first step, got the little ratchet puller up on there. I'm going to lift this. This is the one. This one is going in first. I'm going to lift that up the best I can, tie a hitch on it, pull it up as high as I can get it, and then take a measure from the back of the cable up to the gland, and then transfer that mark, lay it back down on the floor so it's flat, and then put the gland on, go upstairs, get a measure of what I need. Like I said, I think it's about a metre. I might give it 1200, and then throw it up and see what happens. See if I'm right.
Too much for me there and fucking.
So now that's up, I might adjust it a little bit to get it a little bit further back. Red cable up to the gland. Can we see the gland? Let's zoom in. So there we go. There's the gland. The measure as always, as normal. And then I'll take it back down. Let's zoom out a bit. Take it back down. I'll put it onto the cable, let it run round the cable to where the end is, mark it, and then I want to drop the whole thing back down to the floor, put the gland on, but that way I'll know that it's, because here it'll be straight going up, but if I try and put the gland on, say there, I've got all of that bent to contend with, which isn't going to be good. That's the gland on. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit more difficult getting it up into the gland hole, but I'll give it a go. Phew. Right. Don't know what all the fuss was about. I'm going to put the lock nut on. Tidy. Hopefully the next one goes in like that as well. There we go. 2 cables in. I've got to go and terminate them now. It's pretty tight. Pretty tight up there. Bit of a sweat on as well. Yeah, there's not a lot of room. That was why I just left like a metre up the top. So I'll go up there now. I've got to climb up a cat ladder, so I've got to choose what stuff I need, take it up with me, because there's not a lot of room. Right, that's it. That's those 2 terminated. Now, being old doesn't have many advantages, I'll grant you. But if you see the ends of the terminals, and obviously the corresponding of the older cables, I started doing this before the colours changed, so it's one of them. You just go, oh yeah, that's L1, that's L2, that's L3, that's neutral. Red, yellow, blue, black. And then we've changed them. That's nice, isn't it? Thanks very much for confusing something that, let's face it, is a quite confusing trade to be in anyway. So that be me for another week. I think I'm going to Dunfermline next week, back on that other job. So I've got a 6, possibly 7 hour drive home, depending on traffic. So if you got this far, again, thanks very much for watching. Little thumbs up, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da.